Okay. So now I am discussing polygon rule of vector addition. Okay. So what we are trying to tell. So let me take this. I have taken one vector like this. So this is one vector I have taken. Let this vector be a vector, and I have taken another vector. Let this vector be b vector. So let this vector be another vector I have taken. Let this vector be c vector, and the other vector I have randomly taken as d vector. Now what I can do, that if I suppose this is, we wish to add all these four vectors. So what should we do now? We can take, what should we do? Just try to understand. What I will do, I will take one vector to be the vector of reference. Say for example, I take this a vector as my vector of reference, and I have represented it by, suppose, one of the side of a polygon, say O2P. Then what the best I can do, children? Just try to understand. If I consider another vector over here, let this vector be, suppose, let this vector be, say, b vector, and if I just move this vector, if I move this vector over here, that is parallelly, so I'm just moving the vector parallelly like this. So can you see, like this? So I've just moved the vector parallelly like this. When I move the vector in space parallelly like this, its magnitude and direction remaining unchanged. Similarly, I place it over here at the tip of this particular OP vector, that is at the head of the OP vector. So this will be my B vector. Similarly, what I am doing, the next part, try to understand. To this C vector, what I have taken, so this is my C vector. I move this C vector, so this was the C vector. So I now move this C vector like this, just parallelly to the, keeping the direction and the magnitude same, and I just place it to the head of the B vector. Okay. So I can move this vector in space. So keeping the magnitude and direction, we can move the vector, so it remains unchanged. And lastly, I have got the d vector over here. So what I can do? I can move this d vector same way like this and let it touch like this. So what I have done, I have just combined these four vectors such that the tail of the succeeding is touching the head of the preceding. Am I clear? So tail of B is touching the head of A, and the tail of C is touching the head of B, and similarly the last vector is the D vector. So what I have done actually, we have taken four vectors, okay, as say represented by the four arms of a polygon OP. Let me name it as PQ. Let me name it as RS. So over here you can see here A vector, B vector, C vector, D vector. These four vectors are represented both in magnitude and direction by the four arms of a polygon taken in the same order, like the triangle law. Taken in the same order means I am taking them in the same order like this. If I take them in the same order, then what will happen? Their resultant, very, very important, as the same logic you applied in your triangle law of vector addition, same logic you apply over here. That is, their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the closing side of the polygon. By the closing side of the polygon, that means OS is the closing side. Okay, by the closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order. So that means this OS, very, very important. The OS is your resultant vector. OS is the resultant vector. Okay. So you may note down the polygon rule. Very, very important. Write down. If a number of vectors, if a number of vectors are represented both in magnitude and direction, are represented both in magnitude and direction by the sides by the sides of an open polygon, by the sides of an open polygon taken in a particular order. Very, very important. Order is very much same. So O to P, P to Q, Q to R, R to S. Okay. So their orders are same, anti-clockwise type. Okay. So of the same order, then their resultant is represented. Then their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction. Then their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the closing side. I think children, you are aware, we have taken, this is the open side. So if I want to just close the side, what should I do? I should take like this, which I took earlier, isn't it? So let me take it. So this is the closing side. So this is the closing side. So this is the result. Am I clear? So their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the closing side of the polygon, but taken in opposite order. Can you see? We have taken the vector in anti-clockwise direction, but the resultant we have taken in the opposite order. So what can I say? If I take this as r vector, can't I say that r vector is equals to a vector plus b vector plus c vector plus d vector, isn't it? The resultant vector is therefore r vector is equals to a vector plus b vector plus c vector plus d vector. So this is the resultant of these four vectors. This is very, very important. Now children, one thing you can do over here, which is very, very important, that is you can obviously uh, prove this polygon rule by the triangle law, which we have learned earlier. So let me just discuss that part. So we want to just prove this polygon rule using the triangle law. So let me just rub this part so that you can better understand. So I want to explain you the proof of triangle law, polygon rule using triangle law. Okay. So already you have seen that this is our OP. So resultant is what? OS vector, and that is equals to, you have seen, OP vector plus PQ vector plus QR vector plus RS vector. So this we have already, I have already told, and it is also represented, which is very much clear to you. Now children, if I just try to understand this way, let me draw this so that will be better for you to understand. So over here you can see, so this part is, suppose I join this part, okay? If I join this part, so can I write like this? That is very, very interesting. That is, can I write like this? Say for example, over here, OQ vector using the triangle law, OQ vector will be equals to OP vector plus PQ vector, isn't it? So which triangle I have used? I have used the triangle OPQ. So OQ vector equals to OP vector plus PQ vector. Am I clear or not? So OP vector is equals to, OQ vector equals to OP vector plus PQ vector. Then move on to the next part. Just consider this. If I join this one, and in this triangle OQR, in this triangle OQR, what can I say? I can say that OR vector is equals to OQ vector plus RQ vector, QR vector, isn't it? Using the triangle law. So I can obviously say that this OR vector is equals to OQ vector plus QR vector using the triangle law. Now what can I say over here? This OR vector therefore can be said, because instead of OQ I can put this. So this is equals to OP vector plus PQ vector plus QR vector. So this is your OR vector, right? So now let me move on to this part. If I consider now this triangle, that means if I consider now the triangle ORS, so what can I say? I can say that OR vector, or rather OS vector, is equals to OR vector plus RS vector. So children, OS vector therefore will be equals to OR vector. What is OR? I have already written over here. That is equals to OP vector plus PQ vector plus QR vector plus RS vector. So from here what you get? OS vector is equals to OP vector plus PQ vector plus QR vector plus RS vector. Hence, you can say what is OS? OS was R vector. This is equals to A vector plus B vector plus C vector plus D vector. So we have proved using this part. That means we have proved the parallelogram law, the polygon rule using